Hello, I'm Dr. Bang Ji-sung, the hair wizard who will protect your hair.
Hello, I'm Jay Teacher and I'm a hair YouTuber.
Yes, we have a special guest with us today. It's Jay Teacher, who many of you have seen on YouTube, and he personally underwent a hair transplant. So we're going to hear about that process.
Even just from watching this video, you can surely tell that I have a truly abundant amount of hair. However, I believe there came a point where I started to feel my forehead receding more and more as I kept cutting my hair. From the mid to late 20s, it gradually started to recede, and since I'm in the beauty industry, it really resonated with me. So, the extent to which my M-shaped hairline could be covered and how much my forehead could be lowered drastically changed my overall look. I also really needed a hairline that would grow in nicely so I could style my hair up, allowing my forehead to be visible, whether it was pomade styling or a Gale style. These were the main aspects I deeply considered, and, well, to be honest, hair loss on the crown of my head wasn't something that really hit me hard, so I thought it would be much better if I could just cover the M-shaped hairline. I think that was the biggest thing. I happened to see one of my clients who had a transplant, and it looked so good that I asked, wow, where did you get that done? From what I saw, it looked so good, I thought I could be successful if I went there too, so I got a consultation with the clinic director.
His hair thickness didn't seem to be on the thin side. The hair loss was progressing slightly in an M shape. But since he works in the hair industry, he can't help but be more sensitive. You have to show a satisfactory appearance when you meet clients, right? And since he himself knows the subject so well, I think he recognized the areas that were a little bit thinner or had slightly lower hair density. When he came in, he was eligible for surgery, though his hair density was a bit low. So I told him objectively, and usually men need a number of grafts in the late 2000s or early 3000s. Since I do non-incisional procedures, I told him it would be good to have a non-incisional hair transplant. The design could be almost exactly as he wanted. Because he had deliberated extensively and understood it thoroughly and uniquely, he wished not only to adjust the height but also to enhance the aesthetic appeal of the temple area. So I focused on the aesthetics of that area with more design work. My main concern, to be honest, was hair density, because he has expectations and the surgery can't fail later on. But I wondered, how much can I hope for with the hair density? I truly worried that if I significantly raised the hairline, not all the grafts would engraft, so I was quite concerned even as I was increasing the hair density. Oh, but thankfully he did a great job, and the results seemed to be satisfactory. Our J teacher had a non-incisional hair transplant. So we did the surgery on the front hairline, including the M shape, which is common for men. We transplanted around 3,000 grafts, and the surgical procedure itself took approximately 6 hours. It took about 6 hours, and you must have been uncomfortable during surgery. We don't use sleep anesthesia. Because it's local anesthesia, it stung a little when we administered it. It was tough, right?
No, I think it hurt a lot.
You're not supposed to say that. Shouldn't we dramatize it a bit? Like, it didn't hurt at all. Oh, he hurt.
Well administered.
He was in pain.
The back of my head hurt, but I don't think the front did.
But that's different for everyone. Some people say the back of their head is fine, but the front hurts. Our Jay is a bit unusual. It could also be because he was nervous.
Immediately following the operation, it's quite difficult to determine the success of it, largely due to the anesthesia causing a somewhat hazy sensation. Additionally, there's a tingling feeling, and the sight of blood from the scalp serves as a reminder of the surgery. Upon returning home, however, my primary focus was on documenting this experience for YouTube, as I had intended. That was my main priority. So, as soon as I got home, I rested for about 2 hours, then filmed the YouTube video, and then I think I went to sleep. I'm so happy with it now. I recommend it to a lot of people around me, especially men. Because for men, I believe hair is the most crucial aspect. There's a significant difference in appearance with and without hair. And when it comes to styling, the outcome varies significantly for individuals with an M-shaped hairline compared to those without. The areas suitable for styling also change. Therefore, if you're even contemplating a hair transplant in the slightest, I strongly recommend you proceed with it. Initially, I didn't fully realize, but for about a week, I consistently felt a slight sensation of swelling. Well, I got some bruising, and as the anesthetic began to wear off, the bruising started to surface, specifically around my eyes, making me look a bit like a panda. For about a week or so, it didn't significantly hinder my daily activities even with the bruising, but it was manageable and I felt it was totally fine. so I was able to go to work the very next day, and I don't think it caused any significant issues for me.
How was the first month post-op?
For the first month, it just felt really fascinating. Yeah. Hair grew where there was none on my forehead, and as the swelling subsided, at first they were so small I didn't even notice them, but then they started to protrude a little, and I thought they were actually growing. Hair typically grows about 1 centimeter per month, so I assumed it was growing, but it turns out that was just the result of the swelling subsiding. And then, the clinic told me to do exfoliation quickly, that the scabs have to fall off for the new hair to fall out and then grow back in. After hearing that, I started shampooing really hard, even though it hurt so much. One morning, I shampooed my hair, looked in the mirror, and saw hair all over the sink. I was like, huh? What's this? However, as this phenomenon became more frequent, within approximately 1 to 1.5 months, nearly 90% of it had fallen out. They called that the shedding phase, and I thought, so this was my original state. That's how it was.
Weren't you depressed?
Not really. I already knew my hair would grow back eventually, and I had been informed that this was a necessary phase I would have to go through, so I don't think I felt particularly depressed. In fact, it just felt rather fascinating to me. So, since it was growing back, I just wanted it to grow quickly. So, after the shedding phase passed, you could see it gradually growing for about 3 months. As my hair started to grow, just like the clinic director said, I was already showing my forehead at the 4-month mark. I'm not sure why, but my hair seemed to grow back much faster than others, and its density improved quickly too. Since these shorter hairs were intermingled with longer ones, many people saw them and mistook them for fully grown hair, often asking if the whole process was already finished. And because my hair tended to stand up in the front, I decided to cut it short to better suit that specific characteristic. URIN made short hair trendy, so I thought I should try cutting my hair short too. But after I cut it short, I definitely saw that the transplanted hair became more effective. Then, at around the 9-month mark, there were areas in the middle where the hair density was a bit lower compared to the hair on either side. I also went through that experience, and when I talked to the clinic director about it, he explained that it was something only time could resolve. Since there's nothing I can do to speed it up now, I simply continued taking my medication diligently and waited patiently. So, it was around the 12-month mark when I was making a YouTube video, and I had been documenting my progress with monthly recordings. When I compiled and watched all the monthly video clips, the results were incredibly dramatic, and because of that, those videos also garnered a lot of views. So many people asked about the clinic, but there was a lot of information I couldn't share. But getting to film a video with the clinic director like this seems like it will be really helpful for my subscribers, so I think it's great.
Me too.
And after the 11-month mark had passed, I was genuinely curious if the results would continue to hold up. Because it was hair that had grown, it could potentially fall out again, and that border region is certainly the most precarious spot. I am uncertain if the medication was solely responsible for maintaining the stability of that borderline area, but there were many sections where no further progression occurred. Typically, people say that after approximately 1 year, the entire process is considered finished, but for me, it was around 2 years. Even after another year passed, I am still completely satisfied with the results. I highly recommend it to many people around me, so I am extremely satisfied.
To add to that, medication treatment is necessary in the beginning. That's what I feel. Because honestly, even medical staff don't know for sure if hair loss will occur or what state it's in. So, based on medication treatment, if you take the medicine for about a year, I explained this to Jay as well, there are 2 things you must know. You need to know if you will experience side effects and if you can take the medication consistently. Its effectiveness comes second. If you are unsure about the medication's effects, you can simply discontinue it. Then, considering any side effects you might have felt, or weighing the advantages against the disadvantages, the gains and losses, I believe it's a decision for you to make yourself. Actually, for it to remain good over a year or 2, there's one secret. When transplanting, you must implant the hair all the way to the border, including the inner part. So, if you have your original hair and the transplanted hair just meeting like this junction point can become a problem. That's why you have to overlap them. The transplant surgery has to be done so that the new hair slightly permeates into the thinner parts of the existing hair. Achieving this would necessitate more grafts and a more intricate procedure. However, only by doing so can this region stay healthy and ensure uniform hair density, even if hair loss progresses, regardless of medication use. Otherwise, that area will look sunken in, and over time, after 2 or 3 years, the inner part will look empty. From the patient's perspective, that's very disappointing. You didn't get surgery just to look good for a year or 2. Therefore, regarding that aspect, I believe it was a wise decision to fill it in deeply. Say something. What are you going to say?
You know how people who get cosmetic surgery sometimes jokingly call the doctor their second father? It's like a rebirth. Finally, it's here. Honestly, after the hair transplant, my life changed significantly. I can finally have the hairstyles I always wanted, and that's incredibly satisfying. Plus, I can create even more YouTube content. Before, I had an M-shaped hairline, so I would film styles that were meant to cover it. But now, I can literally do all the trending hairstyles one by one. I can cut it short, grow it long. It's just amazing how much wider my range of options has become. I really like that. And since my hairline is now clean and looks good, I naturally started showing it off more. Consequently, many people have commented that I look much tidier and more confident, which personally, I found to be a truly positive outcome.
He said he's happy. Today, we invited Jay to discuss the progress of his hair transplant. I sincerely hope this information has been beneficial to you. Thank you for watching.